Hello students, let us start with a new topic on digestion, that is nutrition. Cockroach digestive system. So this is cockroach is an insect and this feeds on different types of foods, not necessarily any one category, and therefore we call this as omnivorous. And it has got a complete digestive system beginning from mouth right up to the anus. On one side I am going to show the digestive system, and therefore I will only show it through dotted lines. I want to show the digestive system on the right side, so I am using dotted lines. So this part is the head, this part is the thorax, and this part is the abdomen. We need to draw a diagram like this: head, thorax and abdomen, and then we will fit the system inside it. So outline we need to draw. So now let us see that the digestive system within these will consist of three parts: A, foregut, then midgut and hindgut. So let us start first with foregut. So the foregut will contain, number one, it will contain the mouth. Number two, it will contain a short pharynx. 3, it will contain esophagus. And there is one at the pharynx itself there will be salivary glands, which I will write at the end. Now the esophagus dilates into crop, so I am putting it as 3.1. Third is esophagus, 3.1 is crop. Okay, and then fourth is gizzard. Okay, and these are parts of that. Along with this associated will be a gland, so the fifth one is salivary gland. So let us show these parts, which say this red color. This is esophagus. This is crop, and this is gizzard. So here I want to just say, see, if I want to use an arrow, I put the arrow towards the organ because I want to point out the organ. I do not want to point out the label. So often mistake is made of putting an arrow on this side. That should not be the case. So to put the arrow, or you don't put any arrow at all. So what about the pharynx? The pharynx is just ahead of the esophagus, not necessary to label it because it is very short. And what about the mouth? Okay, so if this is the head and these are the eyes over here, these are the eyes over here, this is exactly how it will appear when you dissected it. So when you dissect a cockroach, you will not be able to see the mouth from this view. The reason is that suppose you take a cockroach and make it lie horizontally and you are watching it horizontally. Let us say up to this point is this point, from here to end is abdomen. Say from here to here is thorax. So there will be legs over here. And this is the head. The mouth is lying like this. The mouth is lying at a right angle or at 90 degrees to the entire body. That is why you cannot see the mouth from here. So it is very important, the mouth parts, which I will just show you because I have already drawn a diagram and I will bring it over. So these are the mouth parts. In order to save time, this is mouth parts of cockroach. So two reasons. One is that to save time. Secondly, this diagram is not expected for your exams. Therefore, I am not drawing it in front of you. So what are these parts? See, this part here is labrum or upper lip. This part is mandible, like a teeth. You can see this part as well as this one. Both these are singular is maxilla, plural is maxillae, and this part is labium, and this part in the center is tongue or hypopharynx. The mouth parts of cockroach are consisting of labrum, a pair of mandibles, so there are two mandibles, a single tongue, two maxilla and a single labium. Some of these are fused parts, but that we need not bother. So this is the mouth parts of cockroach. The mouth parts of cockroach are of biting and chewing type. Try to recollect that the mandibles were very strong and with pointed edges, serrated edges, and therefore these are of biting and chewing type. Please try to remember this. So that is the mouth over here, but we cannot show the mouth in this view. All that you can see is maybe some squiggles over here. So that is the mouth leading into very short pharynx, then into the esophagus. So here we will also show salivary glands. Let's try to use another color. So salivary glands, we will show one duct, and the duct is pouring into this region. This is actually a reservoir, the reservoir along with the duct. And These are the glands. The glands also have their duct and they pour. So there is a common duct then. These are all the glands. And they pour over it. So every salivary gland will have a reservoir, a balloon shaped structure, and it will have salivary glands. They will have their duct and they all join together to form common duct and they get into this region of the esophagus. So salivary glands are there. Then there is a crop. So you can see that the crop is dilated. It is actually part of esophagus. Esophagus dilates into crop just to store the food temporarily. A lot of mucus is secreted, and sometimes enzymes from the midgut enter into the foregut and it gets stored, and therefore many parts are or many food substances get digested. Then gizzard. So this part is the gizzard. This gizzard is an interesting structure. So we will just show it here. I will just show the gizzard here. If you take a section of the gizzard, it will naturally appear to us as being circular, and it has got a lot of circular muscles. So all these are circular muscles which go around in concentric manner. So you can just show it like this. These are circular muscles, and there are teeth. 6 teeth are there. So how do you show 6 teeth? You show a Y like this is 3 and this is 3. Very simple diagram to show gizzard. TS, transverse section of gizzard. These are circular muscles and these are the teeth. This part is the teeth. So this is TS of gizzard. And with the help of the teeth, see, although this is a small organ, but the teeth and the circular muscles help to completely crush the food. Now the food can go sometimes back from gizzard, sometimes back to crop, crop back to gizzard. So this is allowing it to add mucus over here in the crop, bring it back to gizzard, digest it and crush it further chemically, mechanically, and bring it to the next part. So all this was foregut. Now let us show midgut. So midgut will contain gastric CK. Sometimes it is written as hepatic CK, and stomach. These very easy names, not need to complicate the names. So we will get lot of such 8 or 10 such very thin blind ended structures, which I am just drawing a few of them, and highly coiled structure over here with lot of loops, but I am not showing the loops over here because we only want to show a representative diagram. So this is the midgut. This is, all these are gastric CK, and this is stomach. So this finishes with the midgut. And C, we will take another color. Hindgut. There will be a very thin ileum over here, and this becomes a little bigger. This also loops. So this part is ileum, Next part little wide is colon, and the last part over here is rectum, and opening of rectum will be the anus. And now in the junction of midgut and hindgut, here something unrelated to digestive system but present over here in a hair-like structure. I am not labeling this because this is not part of digestive system. These are Malpighian tubules which we will come across when we are doing excretory system. So when we do excretory system, we will do that. I am not labeling it deliberately. These are Malpighian tubules. Hindgut is made up of ileum, colon and rectum. Rectum will open out as anus. So these are the parts of the digestive system. Let us revise it once again. We will get foregut. In the foregut we get mouth over here. Mouth will have different mouth parts which are made up of tough chitinous structures, and they are all called as biting and chewing mouth parts. You need not draw any diagram for mouth parts of the cockroach. It is not expected here. But we should remember that they are made up of biting and chewing type of mouth parts. We cannot show the mouth part here because it is at right angles to this entire ventral view. This view is called as ventral view showing digestive system. Okay, and now that we made the system, you can complete this part by showing a full line over here on this dotted line, so that it will be completed. The diagram will get completed. Okay, so it was not so difficult to draw the diagram. If you only know little to practice and then get the proportions right, it's not so difficult. You don't need to be an artist to draw it. Anyway, let us get back to this. So we have a very short pharynx which I have not labeled. Then it is followed by esophagus. Then esophagus itself becomes crop. So in the crop, lot of mucus is given out, which helps to soften the food. Then it goes to the gizzard. A gizzard is like a chucky, okay, a grinding mill, where the food gets ground into paste. How does that happen? Because inside this there are 6 teeth and there are circular muscles. It's a short organ but very important organ. Because of the muscular action, food gets ground into paste. Sometimes the food can go from the crop to the gizzard, sometimes return back from gizzard to crop, and this therefore makes it into a proper paste. Now the food then goes into midgut. So some amount of digestion, if we are talking about the physiology of digestion, is salivary glands over here. Salivary glands over here give out the enzyme amylase, which is important in digesting all the carbohydrates. And this gizzard is used in crushing the food. And the crop contains mucus which stores the food. So between crop and gizzard it goes back and forth, and amylase, salivary amylase, has digested the carbohydrates. Then it goes into the midgut. The essential digesting and feature of the cockroach will be in the midgut. These gastric caecae give out lot of enzymes, all of them to digest proteins, so proteases, then to digest lipase, to digest fat is lipase, and again some amylase to digest the carbohydrates. So all the three will be given out over here: proteases, lipases, and amylases. Some amount of these enzymes do go from the midgut to the foregut, and although they are not produced in the foregut, but they are moving from midgut to hindgut, and that is why more enzymatic digestion takes place in the foregut also. So these three enzymes are present in the midgut. So in the midgut, maximum amount of digestion is done, and absorption will take place in the hindgut. Essentially, in the ileum, it will take place in the ileum and the colon. It also takes place in the midgut, but then it's finished off in the ileum and the colon. And in the last part, in the rectum, there are many ciliates, protozoans, as well as microorganisms, ciliates and microbes. And these are living These are symbionts which are living inside the rectum. Almost all organisms, they will always have these symbiotic organisms residing in the rectum or residing in some part of the intestine. Like we also have intestinal flora, very important in maintaining a proper balance of the food that we are consuming. So they also have this association of symbionts to digest the food that they are not able to digest. And in the rectum is also very important that food water which is there, excess water, all the water gets reabsorbed, and towards the end end of that will be the anus, and through which the undigested food will pass out in the form of a paste. Along with that, it is often mixed up with uric acid also, because that comes from Malpighian body, which is shown in yellow over here, but which I have not labeled, which should not be labeled when we are doing the digestive system, because in the digestive system this does not come, but I am showing it to you in the diagram. So this is the digestive system of cockroach. I hope that you have understood this, and with that, this is Professor Ravindranath signing off. Thank you.